So, hi, Terry Knickerbocker here with some thoughts on acting, my opinions, what I've learned. And I know that for some folks and some approaches to acting, and by the way, if it works for you, go for it. Doesn't matter. These are just my opinions. At the end of the day, if your work is good, we're in business. But the topic is substitution. That is to say, like, I don't know, if I'm in a love scene and I have another actor, I'm sort of trying to substitute and almost superimpose, even hallucinate someone I'm actually in love with or could be in love with on top of the face of the other actor, so that when they talk, I'm hearing the voice of the person I'm in love with. When I look at their eyes, I'm not seeing their eyes, I'm seeing the eyes of the person that I'm in love with or something like that. That to me is weird, I gotta say. So I prefer what I would call endowing the person, the actual actor that I'm in there, attuning to them and endowing something about them and their presence as being the sort of thing that I could fall in love with. So I'm actually in, I just saw, it's not the best movie, but it's not a bad movie, Fall Guy, right? With Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. It's a good popcorn movie. I saw it yesterday, but I really felt that they had some chemistry, the two of them. And I had no problem believing that they were in love with each other, right? And I don't know how they did that. Maybe they were doing a bunch of substituting, but I don't think you need to do that. I think instead I want to work with that actual actor and really be with them, and that feels like that's real chemistry. And then I don't have to do that hallucinating thing. Authentic emotion is an important topic for acting. Like, do we believe the feelings? Because it's very off-putting if someone is trying to feel something and you don't really think it's really happening, right? So how to have authentic, organic, and ease with emotion rather than squeezing it out is important. And where you get that, there are a lot of sources. And we know that the Strasberg, the method approach, has a lot to do with accessing history, personal memories. And when I studied it, the guidelines were, if it's an event that was 7 years or more in the past, that may have changed at this point because it was many years ago, you were safe to use it, meaning that the heat of that event had maybe cooled down. So if your mother just died last week, it was not recommended that you go, oh, I need some grief, let me work with mom. They'd say, no, that's too soon. Go work on that on your own, let it cool down. But we also know that trauma can be passed down epigenetically across generations, right? So the 7-year rule doesn't really work, and we're not into re-traumatizing ourselves. Like trauma, go work on that in therapy. So Meisner's approach, which was a later version of Stanislavski, has more to do with the imagination, right? Plus, things change. Let's say I was brokenhearted in kindergarten because I was the only one who I didn't get a Valentine from Sally, who I had a crush on. And I came home in tears at the age of 6. Now it's kind of cute, And so if I wanted to get tears from not getting a kindergarten Valentine, it wouldn't do much for me. But there's an issue there having to do with no one likes me or someone I care about doesn't feel the same way, and I could make up a story about that. So the imagination is limitless. You can always make up stories. And then I think you're much safer because you're not going into the dusty suitcases filled with cobwebs and pain from your real history. You're kind of leaving that over there for the therapy thing, and you're just getting into a circumstance that, if it happened, the word if, would be upsetting or make you happy or fall in love with someone or feel guilty. So less about what was and more about what could be. And then when it's over, you're not there left bleeding, and then on the stage, people are taking a bow, and they're like, oh my God. And then you don't want to do the show because you keep ripping off the scabs of things that are trying to heal. So that's my opinion, that I think it's healthier and also more limitless, because what if you didn't have that history? What if you're playing a character who had an amazing childhood and your childhood sucked. Where are you going to get that? But because you had a childhood that sucked and you know it sucked, you also have probably some yearning for, what if I had an amazing mom, an amazing dad, and a great family? That's an imaginary idea. So you're not, or how are you going to play a king if you've never been a king? How are you going to play a drug dealer if you've never been a drug dealer? How are you going to play a knife wound if no one's ever stabbed you in the chest? People, it's all about the imagination. All right, a couple of nuggets for you there. See you soon.